I'm sorry about that, guys. I got cut off there. This is gonna be part two of the video. Since I don't have an editing system, I can't edit it to change it, so it'll end when it ended. But I was just gonna say um, that with everything that's going on there, and you can price it out for people for the special VIP thing, but for the regular fans, for the common fans, from young to old, um, new fans to older, and I don't mean older fans in age, but just older and just in generational. That for them, you should make that event free to be at Lambeau Field. And if they're gonna have it there at Lambeau Field, and if they are gonna say it, like I said in the other video, if you announce it, if you promote it right, if you promote it at all, period, and you make a joint statement with Brett that his Hall of Fame induction will be inside Lambeau Field. They will come, and if you make it free, even more will come, and I will be one of them. That is a fact. If I know of the date, and if either I'm still unemployed or even if I had a job, I make sure to get that day off and be able to go there. Heck, I might even be able to have be able to have maybe even have a podcast episode there, live at Lambeau Field or something. Um, I mean, still internet radio, but still, be at Lambeau Field. Maybe talk to some Packer fans or something like that. Um, that I know will be there or something. You never know. I can make it a business trip as much as a fun trip for myself, depending on when it is and how I want to do it. But that's just for me. I mean, obviously for other fans and for their families, to do that. Especially people my age, between 22, I would say, 22 and 30, that grew up with Brett Favre. Well, let's go 20 to 30. 20 years old, 30 years old at this time here in 2015, that were kids that grew up with Brett Favre, that grew up with our great team, and then in a way, as Packer fans have somewhat been spoiled all our lives since we were young kids to adulthood, having Brett Favre and then now having Aaron Rodgers, and not really having any true down years. I mean, not saying it was perfect, but in comparison to people from my parents' generation, when in the 80s, I think it was mid 80s to late 80s. I don't know specifically. I would have to ask them, but when the Packers were terrible. The Packers were like, maybe not the laughing stock of the NFL, but they weren't good. They were in a place that free agents wanted to go. And I think that even still was the case when Packers were even able to get Reggie White and Brett Favre at the time in 1992, 91, 92. I believe it was 92. Brett Favre was drafted in 91, second round by the Falcons. Um, and so as us, my age, people my age were spoiled and have been spoiled as NFL fans and Packer fans. Like I said, with having Brett Favre and then now having Aaron Rodgers, two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. For me personally, I still put Brett Favre number one, but then again, that's a generational thing. Just like in the WWE, I put Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock ahead of John Cena and Randy Orton, or Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, of this generation, because that's what I grew up with, and I'll always hold that near and dear to my heart. So Brett Favre will still be number one to me, even after everything that happened at the end of his Packer career and NFL career, so to speak, as well. To me, Brett Favre will still be my number one Packer quarterback, or even NFL quarterback of all time, because of that. And I don't shy away from that. Yes, that is bias. Yes, that's me being might be like a blind person, just going with that. But like I said, I don't hide it. I'm honest with people, whether it's my listeners on my podcast or here in videos on YouTube. So I make that feeling known. Whether it's like I said with WWE and Attitude Era, that should be the greatest time in WWE to me. Um, the '90s and early 2000s were the greatest in the for Packer history for me as well. So it's all the generational thing and how people see that who's their favorite quarterback, either for a specific team or in the NFL period, depending on when they were born or when they were growing up. But like I said, I really hope that the Packers, specifically the Packers, because Brett Favre wants to get this done, and hopefully the Packers can make sure that they do the right thing, that they do what's best for business. Because think about it this way: I know I keep using that WWE catchphrase from the authority gimmick of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, but really that's a real thing, and I'm sure it's a real thing there too. What is best for business? What is best for business for the Green Bay Packers, and what's best for business for Brett Favre? And I think what's best for business in both situations is to have it at Lambeau Field. Not saying they can't make it work in the atrium because they've done it many years before him, but this is a different person. This is Brett Favre that you're dealing with right here. The man that almost single-handedly brought the Lombardi Trophy back to Green Bay, Wisconsin. For the many years of Packers' doldrums in the bottom of the NFC Central, at that time, NFC Central division, let alone in the NFL. I mean, obviously, there was other players on the team. Reggie White included, Andre Rison, Antonio Freeman. Then we had Dorsey Levens as a running back, and other players as well. Desmond Howard, kick returner, getting that touchdown in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots in the '96 season, Super Bowl 31. So obviously, yes, I know it was a team effort. The Packers won, the Super Bowl 31. But I'm just saying, Brett Favre as our quarterback at that time brought home the Super Bowl 31 trophy, just like Super Bowl 45, Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback brought home another Super Bowl trophy back to Lambeau Field. So even though the Lambeau Field atrium worked for people back, in the past years, and it was fine, there was no issues, yada yada, you were able to have many, many fans there. But again, this is Brett Favre. Just like if Reggie White didn't pass away, God rest his soul. If the late great Reggie White was still alive and was able to have a Packer Hall of Fame induction ceremony, hopefully they would do the same thing for him. Hopefully they do the same thing for when Aaron Rodgers goes into this Packer Hall of Fame 10 to 12 years from now. They're different people. I'm not trying to be hoity-toity and saying they aren't better than others, but in a sense, they kind of are, because they're more important, and they're a fabric of Packer history. I know there's the Brett Favre haters, because of his back and forth near the end of his Packer career, and the Packers had to make their decision and stick with it, and they decided to go with Aaron and let Brett Favre go. Okay, that's just a business decision in my opinion, and in my thinking. And Brett still wanted to play, so he kept playing with the Jets for 1 year, and then went to the team that he wanted to go to. That he wanted to go to originally, the Vikings. That he went the next year, and he almost made it to a Super Bowl, if it wasn't for an interception in the NFC Championship game that year against the New Orleans Saints. But like I said, they're just different people, and I think they deserve to have it he deserves to have it at the Lambeau Field. And getting back to what's best for business, for the Packers to have that in the Lambeau Field, inside the field, would make a lot of Packer fans, a lot of shareholders, and I'm sure maybe even Packer executives happy as well, because you're going to bring a lot of people to the area for that time, maybe even for that week. You can even make it a whole week of events, like they do for Pro Bowls or Super Bowl week or whatever, Packer Hall of Fame week. You can have events during the week with Brett or some other ones if there are going to be other people part of that class. Maybe it is just going to be Brett, and even if that's the case, you still have things going on during the week. Maybe even an autograph signing. People get to um, try to get that, or maybe even some other VIP things where you have to pay for an event, but with raffles, autograph things, autograph Brett paraphernalia, or current Packer paraphernalia, jerseys, helmets, alike. But obviously for me personally, I had a great time, childhood. I remember going to mini camps, Packer mini camps every single year for 6 years um, during my childhood. Going to those, and even a little bit when I got older. Um, not as frequent, obviously, but always seeing Brett there, and and the other players trying to get autographs, and a flock of people, on each person. But it just would be great for me to be there, for me personally, and I'm sure for many other Packer fans my age or any age, to want to be there for the Hall of Fame. And I just hope that the Packers do the right thing and let it be inside the field, whether it's 80,000 max, 60,000 max, whatever the number is, you let all those people come in and have it free. I talked about in the other video about how you can have for overflow, and how you can ask people to pay for like a VIP dinner thing with the Hall of Fame. You can re-listen to that part one. But I just think it's just, to me, it's just simple. It's just a simple thing. I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's logistics and other things that go into it, um, that are either over my head, or I just I'm not thinking about right now. But to me, it seems like a simple thing to do, simple offense to do. You have it inside Lambeau Field, not just in the atrium. You let people come free of cost. Besides obviously the cost of driving, and whatever and whatnot. Their own expense. But to get inside Lambeau Field being free, you open the gate and whatever, and then obviously you watch it until you see there that it's getting to a point where then you would have to cut it off, and then you go from there and have the rest in the atrium, as I'm saying, because you really shouldn't shun away any fans that have made the trek there, especially because you don't know how far they came from, or whatever. So, like I said, I think it's what's best for business. I think it's a simple thing to do, a generous thing to do to Packer fans, especially making it a free event, for the induction ceremony itself. And also for the video montage, I have a perfect video for them to use. A D. Howard Decker, I think is his name, on YouTube, or not on YouTube, but on Twitter. D. Howard Decker. He's also on Facebook and other things, but he made this video a while ago actually, with the song "Coming Home," and did it with Brett Favre thing. I think I have it on my YouTube channel, in one of my, I think in my NFL album. I think I do. But either way, just YouTube it, or YouTube search it. When you're on YouTube, search Brett Favre "Coming Home," and it should be one of the top of the searches. And the user would be D. Howard Decker, or just Howard Decker, or Howard D. Decker, something like that. In that way, because it's a great video. He did a great job in creating it. The song goes perfectly for Brett Favre, especially with the situation and everything that happened between Brett and the Packers, and Brett and the Packer Nation as well, because a lot of people became Favre haters, and non-supporters anymore. Didn't like him, whatever. Because to be quite honest, if that didn't happen, if the whole back and forth and the Brett Favre saga and near the end of his Packer career didn't happen, he would have been treated like, as they would say, like a guy in Green Bay, by all Packer fans, and all Packer fans would be clamoring on my side here, agreeing about having the Hall of Fame in Lambeau Field, because they all, if they could, had the ability to drive or fly or whatever, had the money to come to Green Bay to see the Hall of Fame ceremony, they would do so. But because of it, the fans split. So with everything that happened between the Packers and Brett and the Packer Nation, excuse me, that song "Coming Home" or "I'm Coming Home," however it's titled, is perfect. And actually, I'm probably gonna watch it a couple of times in a row tonight. I'm probably gonna loop it for a repetition of 4 probably, or 6, whatever, however I feel whenever I do it. But just let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Leave it in the comments section. If you're subscribed, thank you very much. Right now, I think I'm at 19 or 21 subscribers. I haven't checked in the last few days because I've been away doing some other things. I do apologize that this video had to be in 2 parts, but the app that I'm using to even be able to do videos wasn't cooperating. So again, I apologize for that. But as always, if you are not subscribed, you're welcome to subscribe. And like I said, leave in the comments what you think. Do you agree with me? Um, or obviously, what are your own opinions? Do you think Brett Favre's ceremony should be in Lambeau Field or just in the atrium of said Lambeau Field? So let your voices be heard. I definitely look through the comments if I ever do get comments on any of my videos. Like I said, I'm starting to do videos. I'm slowly growing and hopefully can get a fan base here, just as much as my podcast shows. And again, to promote that, my next episode will be April 28th, starting with that, and then going forward twice a week, every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Time, blogtalkradio.com/talking_Packers. You're welcome to check that out during this break, as I call it, or even my podcast shows off season, just like the NFL's off season. You're definitely welcome to listen to my Super Bowl episode, where me and my guest Stephen A. and not Stephen A. Smith, no, I wish, but a different Stephen A. and Jay were on my show, talking the Super Bowl and previewing that. Definitely can show you what's to come in future episodes, how I am as a host, and especially a host with guests, because I'm hoping on the 28th and on the 30th of that week when I'm starting my episodes for the 2015 season, that I'm gonna have some great guests line up for either one or both days. I think more so the 28th. I think I already have a couple of people lined up there. Maybe they might come back again for the 30th. And heck, you never know. You might see them all, these guests on and off during the NFL season when they're able to, because they have their own things going on. So thank you for your time. Have a great weekend and happy Valentine's Day to everybody who does have boyfriends or girlfriends out there. Never forget to say I love you to them. Just say I love you to any family member of yours, because you never know when the last time you see them. Life, every day of life isn't given, but it should always be appreciated. So especially if you have someone in your life, whether you're married or you're in a relationship or whatever, enjoy it, but also appreciate it. And that's what Valentine's Day, I think, to me, is supposed to be for. Appreciating that you have that special someone in your life to share your life with that said person. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. Hopefully someday I'll find my special someone. But for now, I travel on the road of life alone, and it is what it is. So again, have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. And I might do another video shortly. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care.